Jaya Radha. It's not working. Hare Krishna. Not really. That would be good. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Dhanavallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Dhanavallabha Girivaradhari. Yasodanandana Bhajananaranjana. Yasodanandana Bhajananaranjana. Yamuna Tira Manachari. Yamuna Tira Manachari. Yamuna Tira Manachari. The table. Yamuna Tira Manachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan Yogi ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Yeah, and then we start 48. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 21, entitled Conversation between Manu and Kadamba. And we'll start at text 48 and then text number up to text number 50. Ato chajam upayatam nivedam pranatam pura saparyaya payagrinat pratinanjanarupaya. Translation. Seeing that the monarch had come to his hermitage and was bowing before him, the sage greeted him with benediction and received him with due honor. Purport. Emperor Swayambhuva not only approached the cottage of dried leaves possessed by the hermit Kanana, but also offered respectful obeisances unto him. Similarly, it was the duty of the hermit to offer blessings to kings who used to approach his hermitage in the jungle. Text 49. Kritaranam asinam samyatam prinayan muni smaran bhagavata desam Yachahas Laksnaya Gira. Translation. After receiving the sage's attention, the king sat down and was silent. Recalling the instructions of the Lord, Kadamba then spoke to the king as follows, delighting him with his sweet accents. Text 50. Nunam chankramanam deva Satam samraksanayate Vadaya cha satam yastvam Hari shaktir hipanine Nunam chankramanam deva Satam samraksanayate Vadaya cha satam yastvam Hari shakti hipaline Nunam chankramanam deva Satam samrakshanayate vadaya cha satam yastvam Hare Shakti Hipalini. Nunam, surely, Chankramanam, the tour, Deva, O Lord, Satam, of the virtuous, Sanraksanaya, for the protection, Te, your, Vadaya, for killing, Cha, end, Asatam, of the demons, Ya, the person who, Tvam, you, Hare, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shakti, the energy, He, since, Palini, protecting. Translation. The tour you have undertaken, O Lord, is surely intended to protect the virtues and kill the demons, since you embody the energy of Sri Hari. Purport. It appears from many Vedic literature, especially histories like Srimad Bhagavatam, the Puranas, that the pious kings of old used to tour their kingdoms in order to give protection to the pious citizens and to chastise or kill the impious. Sometimes they used to kill animals in the forest to practice the killing art, because without such practice they would not be able to kill the undesirable elements. Kshatriyas are allowed to commit violence in that way because violence for a good purpose is part of their duty. Here two terms are clearly mentioned. Vadaya, for the purpose of killing, and asatam, those who are undesirable. The protecting energy of the king is supposed to be the energy of the Supreme Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita 4.8, the Lord says, Paritanayu sadhanam vinasya suduskritam. The Lord descends to give protection to the pious and to kill the demons. The potency, therefore, to give protection to the pious and kill the demons or undesirables is directly an energy from the Supreme Lord. And the king, or the chief executive of the state, is supposed to possess such energy. In this age, it's very difficult to find such a head of state who's expert in killing the undesirables. Modern heads of state sit very nicely in their palaces and try, without reason, to kill innocent persons. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyanana Salakya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The undesirables. The thought crossed my mind, what if we would have been counted amongst the undesirables? Then what? It is stated that in the age of Kali, actually the entire population has become degraded. Actually the entire population has become addicted to sinful activities and to degraded activities in this way or that way. And in this way mankind has become destructive in its as a whole, destroying the planet, exploiting one another, and causing so much suffering on the planet. On the planet, to the planet, and so on. So, therefore, in this age, the Supreme Lord does not come for paritranaya sadhanam vinasya saduskritam, to kill the miscreants, because we might be counted amongst them. So we're lucky in this way. The Lord comes to kill the demoniac mentality, to change that mentality. Jagai and Madai were lifted up, and Jagai and Madai were the embodiment of sinful activities. Jagai and Madai were simply absorbed in any sinful activity, including killing, setting people's houses on fire, and all kinds of things. You name it. The amount of sinful activities that was recorded was exceeding what Chitragupta, the scribe of Yamaraj, could keep up with. They were keeping records, and he's saying, where to keep all these records? Messengers were running running in with constant news about more sinful activities. It said, but all of that was written off in one stroke, by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in this way, now an amazing thing is going on. The sinners are not just purified by death, but the sinners are purified simply somehow or other by being touched by the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even when they don't voluntarily take up the process, still the Sankirtan movement is so potent that it can transform lives of those who are unwilling. It is no longer about surrender. Even sarva dharman parichayamamekam saranam vraja, the final instruction of the Bhagavad Gita, give up all varieties of activity and just surrender unto me. Even that is no longer needed. Even those who don't surrender somehow or other will be touched by the Sankirtan movement. Birds will eat some crumbs of prasadam and become transformed. And Food for Life is going strong. The holy name is penetrating everywhere and is somehow or other transforming the three worlds. The Gayatri mantra So it is described, rests on 4 legs. It rests on the legs of the Gayatri, our mind, body and words dedicated to the Supreme Lord. And the 4th leg of Gayatri is the earth. So in order to chant Gayatri, one requires Brahminical culture on earth. Only then can that be effective. Therefore, the Gayatri mantras are not reaching to the lower regions of the universe. Even here, on this middle planetary system, Gayatri can reach only few. Because Gayatri, although it has the potency to deliver one to the spiritual world, right? And Lord Brahma is chanting Gayatri. He's chanting the Kama Gayatri, one of the Gayatri mantras, as his worshipable mantra. So Gayatri can deliver those who are in the mode of goodness, but all those who are below, what is their opportunity? But the holy name of Krishna can purify even those who are deeply steeped into the mode of ignorance. Therefore, in this day and age, the process is about simply flooding the world with the holy name of Krishna. The name of Krishna, based on the Krish Dhatu, the root form of the name Krishna. And the Krish Dhatu represents the word akarsan, to attract. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives a second definition of the name Krishna and said, akarsan is also Sri Krishna akarsini, which means that devotional service can attract Krishna. And this is what is happening. Krishna attracts the living being to engage in devotional service, and then subsequently devotional service attracts Krishna. And as devotional service attracts Krishna, Krishna becomes more and more manifest in the life of a living entity. And as a result, that living entity who was the most degraded loses taste for such degraded activity and develops attraction to Krishna, because Krishna can attract all. He is, after all attractive. In this way, we're appreciating how everything can change by the Sankirtan movement. Not that there is no need for kings in this era. Srila Prabhupada particularly was saying that now there is an emergency situation. And in this emergency situation, we have to again recreate the 2 upper classes of society, the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas. Because these 2 upper classes of society, they are dedicated to upholding the principles of Dharma. Vaishya and Sudra, they're influenced by ignorance. Sudra is the personification of ignorance, and Vaishya is a mixture of passion and ignorance. So the Vaishya may follow some religious principle, but when it comes to the choice between profit and prescribed duty, what can you do? Right? Profit comes first. And profit is not only money, but it means advantage in any situation. Always thinking of advantage, an advantageous position. looking around the room, which chair is the best, looking which place is the best, what position is the best, where shall I position myself? A good question these days. A lot of people are thinking about that now, where to position myself in the best possible place. But isn't any place the best possible place? Isn't Krishna all-pervading? Isn't Krishna present everywhere? One may say, of course, temples and holy dhams and tirthas, that's a different matter. Such places are most auspicious, and we desire to visit them again and again for blessings. Recently I spent a lot of time in New York, and it is so nice that there are all these places, right? Tompkins Square Park, where Prabhupada was standing under the tree. And Prabhupada is writing about Tompkins Square Park Kirtan and said, this was the beginning of the Kirtan that spread all over the world. This Tompkins Square Park. So it is a very potent place. And that tree is a very potent tree. Once I decided to hug that tree, although I'm not the type that usually hugs trees. But anyway, I did it and prayed. And I thought, what do I pray for now? So I thought, well, since from here the holy name spread over the entire world, I should pray for the power to preach. I did. And then after I was finished, I turned around and there was a boy standing under the tree. And he said, what do I have to do to become a monk like you? I go like, wow, this is a desire tree, if you had any doubts. So in this way, such places are invested with transcendental energy. And that never goes in vain. We need blessings, transcendental blessings. But otherwise, what does it matter where we are in the world? Our interest is to somehow or other bring Krishna consciousness to all the sinful people and transform them. The holy name is carried by the devotees. Srimad Bhagavatam, which is another means, Kalo nastadrisameza purana ko dunuditaha. It is another way when Krishna swadamo pargate dharma ginadi bisaha. When Krishna left this planet 5,000 years ago, then dharma and gyan also left. So all religious principles left and knowledge left. And the world sunk into ignorance and into sinful activity. And immediately. But Srimad Bhagavatam is actually bringing the transcendental light of pure devotional service. Savai pumso paro dharmo yata bhaktira dokshaje ahitikiya patiyata yayatma suprasidati. And it is that pure devotional service which can fully purify the world, because it is only there that we find satisfaction, complete satisfaction. One finds a little satisfaction, if you get a lot of money, some satisfaction will be there. If a man gets beautiful woman, or woman gets beautiful man, some satisfaction will be there. But all that satisfaction is not going to last. Still unfulfilled. But pure devotional service can make us suprasidati. Prasidati Siddhati means siddha, means having obtained all perfection. And prasiddhati, prakrishta rupena, in its full-fledged form. So all perfection in its full-fledged form. And su is a prefix which magnifies. So one could say in its super full-fledged form. Or like super completely happy, right? If I use modern language. So that is suprasiddhati. That's what comes from devotional service, and gradually that begins to dawn upon people. Yad anujasina yukta karma granti nibandhana. The transcendental knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam pierces the knot of karma. The knot of karma is in the heart and is affecting the consciousness. And because there is a knot of karma, so many strings of attachment to so many things, to ideas, to preconceived ideas. Yes. Purushottam could not accept when Prabhupada said they didn't go to the moon. And it was shocking. We all saw it. Maharaj saw it on television. Did you? Did you see the moon landing, Maharaj? Oh. Most people of your generation, Maharaj, did. They saw the moon landing. I saw it. I saw it. I saw. No, the astronauts. They were there. They were jumping on the moon. I saw it with my own eyes on television. And the whole world was cooperating. You saw it? You did, huh? Yeah. I'm looking at it. No? There was no television at all? What? Really, huh? Wow. Okay, but you heard it on the radio. Wow. He came in the 70s, huh? Look at these Afrikaners. Yeah, amazing. Anyhow, so the moon landing. And Prabhupada, yes, Purushottam could not accept it. Could not accept it. And Prabhupada was joking to him, where is Purushottam? Oh, he went to the moon. You know, Prabhupada was teasing him and joking him from, you know, making such a big thing. But he made such a big thing. He could not get over it. And ultimately it became the obstacle that was insurmountable. And he left. He left over the moon. I mean, he couldn't care less what the moon is made of. Right? If the moon is made of green cheese, that's fine. Right? That would not be bad. Whatever the moon is made of, it is not of great importance to us. It may be a heavenly planet. It may be so. Right? It may be. But so what? No interest. No interest, even if it is that. No interest in going to a heavenly planet. Right? No. Let this be the last life. Let us now take advantage of pure devotional service. All right, it cannot be done in a day because all this stubborn attachment is there. And the knot of karma is within the heart. It cannot just be given up. One may think, yes, now I'll surrender. When I shaved off my long white locks of hair, right? I thought, now I'm surrendering my life. Now I'm surrendering. I found out it wasn't the case. It wasn't so simple. It wasn't just about shaving. Then initiation, now I'm surrendering. It wasn't the case. I didn't. Second initiation, now I'm surrendering. Then sannyas, I took the danda in my hand, mind, body and words. Now I'm surrendering. It wasn't the case. Because the strings that go through so many things in the world, that go through so many ideas, very strong. People would say, but Prabhupada is always giving these same lectures. You're not the body, you're not Indian, you're not American, you're not African, you're not, not all these things. Yes, no. And go like, we've heard it so many times now. Is there something else? Right? No, you're not Indian, you're not American, you're not African, not Dutch. Not all these things. Not all these things. It is so deeply ingrained, these upadhis. This identification with matter is so deep that we are so deeply conditioned by it. Will we ever overcome it? So, therefore, we are not able to come to the platform of pure devotional service, and our devotional service remains mixed. But Prabhupada said, don't worry about it. It is like the glass of water with the drop of ink inside. How to get the drop of ink out of a glass of water? There's a drop of ink in a glass of water. How to get it out? Keep on adding water. Keep on adding more and more water, and it will become clear. In this way, by adding more and more devotional service, by adding more chanting of the holy name, by more kirtan, by more prasadam, by more transcendental association, by more discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, it will somehow or other continue and will become purified. Chetodarpanam marjanam bhavamaha davakniyane nirvapanam shreya kaireva chandrika vitaranam. Shreya kaireva, it speaks about kairava, it speaks about a white lotus. And this white lotus is, we understand from the commentaries of the Acharyas, this white lotus, by this process, the white lotus of Krishna consciousness will open. And the unique feature of this white lotus is that it opens up in the night by the moonshine. So this white lotus will open up in the night of Kali Yuga, in the midst of all the contamination. And it is due to that contamination, in the gross form, the contamination exists in sinful activities. In the subtle form, in pointing fingers at each other, and in trying to establish ourselves as better than others. But here we see an exchange between Kardama Muni and between Swayambhuva Manu. And Swayambhuva Manu comes before the sage, who, as we heard yesterday, lived in a hut, who was kind of, looked a bit scruffy, looked a bit scruffy. His hut was also, not a bit rough. And like an unpolished gem, right? We saw. So, and here the king, the emperor, not just a king, but an emperor, a king of kings, Ah. King of kings is very opulent. Not small king, big, powerful king. Swayambhuva Manu comes and he offers obeisances to the sage. And the sage offers blessings, but not in a spirit from, oh yes, you lowly creature, you lowly king, I as a sage, as a brahmana, will bless you. Not in that mood, but in a very affectionate mood, in a very close mood. Oh, my dear king, you are such a wonderful personality. You have been touring the world, and surely that tour that you've undertaken is meant to protect the virtuous and to kill the demons. In this way, you are protecting the principles of Dharma. You are a blessing to the entire world. And therefore, with great affection and happiness, I'm receiving you. And therefore you are close to my heart. So there's a very intricate relationship. We see how Maharaj Pariksit was cursed by a Brahmana boy who had become afflicted by the age of Kali, the Brahmin boy Shringi. And Shringi shows the downfall of the Brahmanas, which is pride. Shringi shows pride, and he says, like, how could this king put a garland of a dead snake around my father? And why did he do so? Because he asked for water, and my father did not give? Since when do the upper classes have to provide water for the low class? Since when? Yes. Therefore, since when can a dog dine with its master? Since when? In this way, Bhagavatam explains the mentality of Shringi, who had become a very arrogant, proud personality, and with that had lost the fundamental qualification of a Brahmana, of humility and of giving honor, giving respect to all. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahisnana amanina manandena kirtaniya sadahari. A Vaishnava also gives respect to all, not only to all devotees, but to all, to everyone. To everyone for their good quality. And we remember how Drona Acharya, who was the teacher of military art of the Kurus, how he was teaching the Pandavas, how he was teaching all the princes, so including Duryodhana. And one day, Drona Acharya asked, "O Duryodhana, please go into the world and find one good person. O Yudhisthira, please go into the world and find one bad person." They both left. Duryodhana was back first and said, "I have looked everywhere, but I couldn't find a single good person in the world. Everyone has something bad." Yudhisthira came back later and said, I have tried to find one bad person in this world, but I could not find, because everyone has something good." In this way, a Vaishnava can give respect to all, can see something good in all. And this is what will gradually uplift us. By looking for the good and serving the good, we will come to the ultimate good at the feet of the Vaishnavas. And in our humility, we'll become eligible to receive that transcendental knowledge. So in this way,
we are meant to be the humble servant of the Lord. Sri Damodar Prabhu has instructed me that I should continue till 8:30, so got to come up with 13 more minutes. So no, it's okay. At one point, I can, but I've made a point. I've made a point about becoming purified. That the sage showed great humility, that although the king was offering obeisances and he was giving blessings, in one sense that, yes, that was there, but it was also a formality. He could also see the sage, he could also see that the king was a great saintly personality. And on a transcendental platform, what does it all matter? How many stars and stripes we have? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who has the most stars and stripes of all? Right? So what? Big deal. It is ultimately by saintliness, that a person becomes glorious. By being dedicated to Krishna. We are Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas, we are somehow or other having the topmost knowledge. Oh yes, and even amongst Vaishnavas, we have Vaishnavas, and actually we have Karsnas. Vaishnavas is the general term for all those who worship Lord Vishnu, including the devotees of Krishna. But Karsnas are particularly the devotees that worship Krishna. But then, even amongst devotees who worship Krishna, there are some who see Krishna as the 7th avatar of Vishnu. They have not understood. Some are worshipping Krishna in Dwarka. But then, who is worshipping Krishna in Vraja? But even of those who worshipping Krishna in Vraja, who has the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? And who is actually chanting the holy name constantly? Who is constantly glorifying Krishna in that way? In this way, we can see that the Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is the topmost. That's us. We have the most stars and stripes. Just see. Oh yes, we do. But what does that say about us? Nothing. That's the uniform we wear. That's the external behavior that we adopt. That's the tradition we belong to. That's our good fortune. But we have no credit. We have no credit. We don't embody that. What are we embodying? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Nakang sati nasu sati, no hankering, no lamenting. Well, that's what we are embodying. Hankering and lamenting. Always hankering and lamenting. Hankering for this, hankering for that. It's just not right. Everything is not, the people are not the way they should be. The temple is not right. The room is not right. The prasadam is not right. It's prasadam. I know it's transcendental, but it's not right. I can't digest it. It's like what to do. Everything is wrong. My shoes are not right. It's like they're the wrong size actually. Yeah, what to do? What can I do? My dhoti is also not right. It's a trip to go up the staircase with a dhoti, And if you really want to know why I took sannyas, because a dhoti with a tail is such a trip. This tail always gets stuck behind the chair with the armrest. That's why they give the chair with the armrest to the sannyasi. Because if the others sit in it, sure enough, the tail is going to get fixed on this armrest. It's a pain to have a tail. I tell you. I decided, okay, sannyas is the only option. Anyhow, somehow or other, we always lament. Even if we don't speak it out, we lament about something. We lament about our bodies. Oh, my body. We lament about our age. Oh, I'm too young. Oh, I'm too old. I'm this, I'm that. Constant lamentation. Lament about everything. The weather. At least at the moment, there's one good thing in South Africa. Nobody talks about crime anymore. I've been here a week. I haven't heard anything about crime, you know. It's like, it's at least something else to talk about for a change. Otherwise, that's the common topic. Anyway, lamenting and hankering. These are the regular activities of a Vaishnava. That's what we do. And that's all part of the karma granthi, of the knot in the heart. And by the process of hearing transcendental knowledge from the mouth of pure devotees, from pure devotees means devotees that are dedicated to living this life of a Vaishnava. By hearing from pure devotees about Srimad Bhagavatam, we become purified. Some devotees said, yes, you just hear from pure devotees, therefore I'm not going to these Bhagavatam classes of ordinary speakers anymore. I'm staying in my home and listen just to Prabhupada. So no, it is akama sarva kama va moksha kama udaridi tivrena bhakti yogena yayeta purusam param. Whether one has material desires or whether one doesn't have material desires, that's not the issue. As long as one dedicates himself with full force, without deviation, to the path of pure devotional service, then he's qualified to speak. Then we will hear from such a person. In this way, the transcendental knowledge can gradually cut through that knot in the heart. Meanwhile, we still have a knot in the heart. And so, meanwhile, even although everything is perfect, it can't be better. It can't be better. We are situated perfectly. But due to the knot of karma in the heart, we cannot see. And we hanker and continue to lament. Now I'm really stopping. Any questions or comments? Yes, Mr. Jagannath, you're getting a microphone.
Hare Krishna. So Maharaj has spoken about so many things, and so many things are going through my mind. You spoke about Jadai and Madai, and how, in this Kali Yuga age, we are not meant to surrender as much. Anyone really can be purified by the holy names. And one could say, so meaning we could just run wild and just do do whatever we like up until such a time when, we get this mercy of the holy names. And then another thing is that I remember reading something on Facebook, and like when you speak about landing on the moon. About landing on the moon. So like there was this thing that even before the scientists could explain, how the Earth is situated, how it looks like from space, it was shown there that actually Vedic scholars of, time back could actually tell that the Earth looks like a rabbit chasing a leaf. So things like that, they show that, they kind of like show that the absolute truth descends from the Lord, and therefore the Lord knew about a whole lot of things that the scientists are still trying to discover even to this day. So many things I could talk about, but
okay, 1 minute, not all at once, because now I have to remember.
Everything. The first thing is that one that
Jagai Madai. Let's start with that.
Okay.
And then you carry on.
Which one?
Jagai and Madai, right? They somehow or other initially they didn't surrender at all, right? Then later, as they got mercy and transcendental knowledge, then they had to change. So the whole world is running wild. And somehow or other, by karma, everyone is also being checked. Right? Now, by karma, disease is ruling. By karma, there are so many things that restrict the people that are running wild. So we are never free to do anything or everything. As people are running wild, karma will hit back. And the world then will get more difficult karma. Look what's going on. We've had fires in all over the world, in Australia, in the Amazon. Those fires are like incredible fires, incredible. Right? Australia is still recovering from it. America gets these cyclones that are stronger than ever before, and that just like come with like 350 kilometers an hour and just like wipe out islands and whatever comes in its way. So the world is facing so many reactions, so many karmic reactions. Yeah. So running wild is only externally the case, because everyone is running within a mechanism of karma. And that will stop people in their tracks. So that's the first thing. People get stopped in their tracks by karma. And then the second thing that comes is the mercy. It comes in. And of course, and because people get checked by their karma, right, they begin to think. When the car rolls over and you come out and it's like, I'm still alive, you suddenly become a lot more religious. You might even pray. You know what I mean? The next day, you find yourself praying. You didn't pray since you were a child, but after the car rolled over, you sort of like say like, thank you, God. Thank you. Suddenly, you believe in God, right? When some heavy thing happens, suddenly you say, thank you, God. So like this, karma checks us in our wild runs, and then the mercy of the devotees comes through. And we have no idea what it is. You know, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. These people are correct. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. The crazy Haris. But, you know, I mean, but at the same time, it's fun. Right? It's fun. And people chant and dance and get a taste. Maybe some prasadam, maybe a book, and things will change. So, and then
gradually we get knowledge, and then at one point we have to surrender. And then we begin to develop a little desire to surrender, and still we don't surrender. Like I said, we shave up, still don't surrender. We take initiation, still don't surrender. But anyway, little by little, we have to surrender. So now that we are here in this temple, and we still have the same thing, we have to surrender. We surrendered a little, we put tilak, put neck beads, but now we have to surrender a little more, just little more, little more, like that. The moon, yes, the Vedic culture has a lot of knowledge. When Prabhupada said they didn't go to the moon, it wasn't just an impulse, it wasn't just a joke. Prabhupada was speaking on the basis of Vedic cosmology, which has pointed out the moon is further away than the sun, and there's no question that we could go to the moon. Prabhupada said they may have gone somewhere to another planet, but it wasn't the moon. And he says, and the moon is not like made of dust, and it's not like a big desert. Prabhupada said it's a celestial planet. So, didn't go to the moon. And what is our qualification to go to the moon? In Easy Journey to Other Planets, Prabhupada points out that if you don't have the karma to go to the moon, you cannot go by mechanical means. Ravana was trying to build a staircase to go to the heavenly planets, but not possible. Not possible to go by mechanical means. Only by piety can we attain the moon. Anyway, we don't want to go to the moon. So, what else?
Two more things. Like when you spoke about, like for instance, there's this thing of saying, okay, we shouldn't feel like we are better than others, which is basically, it comes down to be humble and tolerant and do not take praise and respect from others, rather give respect than receive. Yet, aren't we meant to be better people? Like, for instance, even Krishna, like I was reading yesterday, Krishna book, in Krishna Returns to the Gopis, after he had left the Gopis. And then Krishna was saying there that I will reciprocate to you because you are different, in a sense that you are sort of like better than any other devotees that I have. That's why, for instance, I'm reciprocating with you like this in the rasa dance. So it's like, as much as, for instance, we are all devotees, but would you say that we don't come from the same, we are not cut from the same cloth, sort of to say that we have grades of devotees, even though they shouldn't feel like I am better than the next devotee. But would you say that there are grades of devotees? That's one thing.
Yeah.
And the other,
okay, one thing at a time. Yes, when I said we should not think that we are the best, but we should try to be the best. We should try to be the best, and we have knowledge about being the best. We should also appreciate that we are situated in the best situation. But in terms of personal qualification, we are not the best. One time we were in Calcutta, and I was giving a lecture, and there was a doctor in the lecture. Now, these doctors in Calcutta, it's a rough place, Calcutta, and you oftentimes see doctors with like waiting rooms that are so full of people that spill over in the garden. You see, and all kinds of things. You see people with like, the elephant foot. You see people with bandages with pus on it and everything, and it's like it's intense what these doctors are doing, and they work very long hours. So one of these doctors is sitting in the class, and at the end of the class he says, actually, actually, you devotees, you are doing the greatest welfare work. That you are just the most wonderful. Now, that day, we were just sort of discussing amongst each other what programs are there today. And it was like, oh, there's a program at the Guptas. Oh, the Guptas. Oh, I go to that. Mrs. Gupta, she cooks really nice, right? And in this way, we were just being the most merciful people, thinking in which house we were going to eat for the day. And this doctor was slugging it out day in, day out. Very long hours, no rest in the day, nothing, with all these patients. So I felt ashamed when this doctor was saying, you are greater than us. And I said, well, maybe the process, that we are bringing to the people is the greatest process. But we are just very humble representatives of that process. Whereas, all right, as a doctor, you may be working not for the soul, but for the welfare of the body. But the sacrifice that you are making as an individual, said, all my respects to you for all that you do. So we should be ready to see that some people make a huge sacrifice. Maybe they are not having the highest knowledge, but still, if they make a huge sacrifice, we can appreciate. And yes, of course, we are better situated. But not that we become proud and think, this doctor is just a materialist, just taking care of the bodies. You go take care of these bodies with diseases. We're sitting here high and dry, right? And there are people out there dealing with the coronavirus patients. You want to volunteer? Want to become a nurse?
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah, you have more.
I had more, but I'm thinking about prasadam now.
Okay. Then I think we have reached the end, but I thank you very much. You had a question? Okay, there is a hand waving behind you. Give her a chance. And then we will end. See, by the order of Swarup, I'm directed on a little. No, it's okay. But, yes.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj, you spoke about how we conditioned in having this advantageous nature of always placing ourselves in the best situation. I was wondering if you have any tips as to how we can shift our consciousness and let it be more centered in thinking about Krishna and serving his devotees instead of ourselves.
Well, we are certainly, it is the nature of every living being to try and place himself in the best situation. That's the nature of the conditioned soul. Also in the spiritual world, the devotees are eager to serve Krishna. But in the spiritual world, the devotees can step aside and give preference to others. No, let them serve Krishna. Radharani steps aside, let them serve Krishna. So, not always claiming for themselves. In spiritual life, we have to see that our life belongs to our spiritual master. And what does he want? What
is his vision of what he would like to see happen in this world, and let us somehow or other embrace that and not so much calculate for ourselves, and embrace that and just we are so much concerned with I and mine. Our egos. Carl Jung describes our egos as swollen egos. Right? We have swollen egos. So our egos are so important. What I feel, what I want. You just have to learn it's not so important. Whatever needs to be done, I'll somehow or other do the needful. Yeah, I can also say a lot more, but now the time is up. So I'll end. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Yes, Maharaj. Thank you.